are your top stories. Records have revealed that George Soros funneled $37 million to support Democrat socialist Zohran Mamdani's campaign and marginalize Andrew Cuomo. According to those recently released records, Soros, through his Open Society Foundation, funneled the money in recent years to the Working Families Party and at least 9 other left-wing organizations that supported Mamdani's successful campaign in the New York Democrat mayoral primary. The WFP, a far-left socialist-friendly group, received $23.7 million from Soros through its nonprofit fundraising arm, then used that money to help Mamdani. An additional almost $14 million was distributed to 9 other nonprofit organizations and their fundraising entities, all of which endorsed Mamdani's campaign and supported his progressive agenda. Specific groups funded by Soros included Make the Road Action, Community Voices Heard, Move On, Jewish Voice for Peace Action, which is described as an anti-Zionist group. Other unnamed profits also received funds totaling the more than $13.9 million figure. Mamdani, who has been accused of being a Marxist and communist, won the Democrat mayoral primary by a 12-point margin over Cuomo, securing a record 565,000 votes. While Soros and his family did not directly donate to Mamdani's campaign, the Open Society Foundation's grants indirectly supported his candidacy through these organizations' advocacy and ground efforts.
What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely going to want to check this one out. Folks, looks like in addition to the legal campaign contributions coming from overseas for Zohran Mamdani, he's also been receiving massive funding and aid coming from none other than George Soros. Now folks are calling for a full-scale investigation into his mayoral campaign, and on the other side of things, it looks like New Yorkers are finally waking up to the schemes and tricks of Zohran Mamdani as he comes out begging for even more money for a third time in just 2 weeks. Check this out.
Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again. This transition requires staff, research, and an infrastructure that can meet this moment. Still asking for your help because we need to raise $4 million in total, so January 1st can be the day we start to deliver, not start to prepare. I hope very soon not to have to ask you for money, but until then, I'm asking. Leaves, they are changing. The air, it is crisp. But one thing that stays the same is we still need you to donate.
So as we can see, Zohran's went into full cash grab mode and New Yorkers are still oblivious to what is going on. Well, I got this patriot who breaks it down very clearly what we're seeing for the New Yorkers who still don't get what they're witnessing in their city.
Was Mamdani's entire campaign a lie? I mean, he must be believable. He's never held a job or done anything in his adult life or held political power, and yet rose so quickly on his honesty. See, he's begging for $4 million from you for his transition, but says he hopes he won't have to get money from you in the future, which he will, because he needs it from you because he doesn't have wealthy donors. Well, then who's Alex and George Soros? Because their foundations and organizations donated between $32 and $37 million to groups and organizations that donated directly to Mamdani's campaign. See, he's trying to act like he doesn't like billionaires or take their money because they put people in between. Additionally, he seems to be backing off of all of his campaign promises of free this and free that. He made the exact same campaign promises that the Ayatollah Khomeini made while he was seeking power in Iran. And look where Iran is today. But see, he's backed off of those things because he knows he can't give it to you. He just told you he did because you treat our elections as if you're electing the high school president. Well, I'm going to give you free soda in the water fountains. And that's what you did. He claims he's going to fight anti-Semitism. Well, why don't you guys take a deeper dive on the people that are involved in his campaign and their own social media posts and their own words and their own behaviors? Yeah, another lie that won't happen.
Listen to this patriot when he says reality is finally starting to set in for New Yorkers as they're seeing what's unfolding in their city, with the Zohran Mamdani finally starting to walk back all the promises of the free stuff that he promised along the campaign trail. None of it's coming. None of the free buses, the rent freezes, the government-run grocery stores. It's just impossible. His plan is destined to fail. He knows it. It's about time that New Yorkers finally wake up and see reality for what it truly is.
So, John, I wanted to ask you, obviously, if these things come to pass, and there's a lot of other things, the debt burden you're talking about, if this happens, are we going to see an exodus out of New York City? Do we have other things we can look to? Now, look, I'm from Florida personally, and I welcome anyone to come there. But tell us a little bit about what we've seen so far.
Oh, well, there's a lot there. So I'm from New Jersey. New Jersey is a very high-tax state. I'm not staying in New Jersey right now. And I feel very, very, very grateful to do that. And the reason why I bring that up is because Mamdani, specifically on the corporate tax rate, specifically was like, I want to bring it up to New Jersey's level. So he wants to reduce the competitiveness of New York's businesses. And that's going to affect everybody, going all the way down to the very real wealth flight that will happen with a massive increase in taxes. You're going to see, I think it's like 2 million people have left New York State over the past decade. There's periods of time over the past 5 years that New York City has lost population. And so that trend will continue. In fact, it's going to get worse under Mamdani. And as those people leave, the people that are stuck and left behind are going to be dealing with more and more and more of the burden, the taxes, and there's going to be less people, so they're going to have to personally take on more, and it's going to harm them the most.
And you would have thought by now, with all the blaring sirens and the red flags that we're seeing, folks educating New Yorkers on what's truly unfolding, what they're seeing before their eyes with Zohran Mamdani, they would not have got on board with his agenda, his plan. But it looks like New Yorkers still aren't waking up. They don't understand the magnitude of what's happening in their city right now.
How are we going to pay for it?
How are we going to pay for it with tax money, with tax dollars?
Okay, where the tax dollars come from?
Tax dollars are coming from all of the billionaires and wealthy people.
Well, they already pay, the top 1% already pays 50% of all taxes. Yeah.
Can you prove
IRS
that,
data? IRS data reflects that the top 1% already pays 50% of all taxes. But I ask you, so if you tax the rich to oblivion,
Yes.
what happens when the rich leave the city? Who's to tax then?
They won't leave the city.
Why not?
Because-
They've already done it in California.
Because in New York State, we have Wall Street, they're not leaving. And so what
You
if
think they can't leave? Then who are you going to tax when they leave?
We're just going to continue taxing people, but your
Oh,
argument...
the middle class, right?
Yes, actually, the middle
Oh,
class.
okay, so you explained it. So we're going to tax the out of the middle class when the rich people leave after you tax out of them.
I think we should tax the of everybody, yes. I think that the middle class should be taxed 50% like it does in Sweden.
I'm trying not to laugh, but these folks are just so lost over in the city of New York. I just don't understand how they don't see this yet. They're being played, they're being had by this Zohran Mamdani character, especially as he begins to walk back all of his promises that he made along the campaign trail. His big bad fight against Trump, he said he's going to be the largest thorn in Trump's side, but we've seen during the meeting that was not the case whatsoever. Just listen to Zohran Mamdani on the campaign trail versus after meeting with President Donald Trump.
My administration would be Donald Trump's worst nightmare. I have many disagreements with the president, and I believe that we should be relentless and pursue all avenues and all meetings that could make our city affordable for every single New Yorker. I intend to make it clear to President Trump that I will work with him on any agenda that benefits New Yorkers.
I refuse to believe that New Yorkers are not seeing the real in this situation with Zohran Mamdani, especially with the latest media coverage of this guy blatantly walking back all the promises that he made along the campaign trail. You just cannot make this stuff up. It's all right there in front of them, but they refuse to believe it. If that's not bad enough for you guys, I found another clip of Zohran Mamdani making a huge pivot when he's asked if Trump will deploy the National Guard in his city.
Let me ask you about the other threat that we heard from President Trump to send troops to New York City to address issues of crime and immigration. We've seen him do this in other major cities. Did you get any assurances in your meeting, Mayor-elect Mamdani, that President Trump will not send troops into New York?
Now, I told the president that the cornerstone of an affordability agenda is public safety, and that it is critically important to me. And for all that has been said and all that has been spoken about, and the tens of millions of dollars looking to make New Yorkers fearful of that question, the truth of it is, in fact, that I'm looking forward to working with the NYPD to deliver on that. And I shared with the president that my decision to retain Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch is in large part a recognition of the fact that in her time leading the NYPD, she has driven down crime across the 5 boroughs while starting to uproot corruption that was endemic in the top echelons of that department under Mayor Adams.
And again, Mamdani chickens out on yet another promise he made along that campaign trail. I mean, when do folks realize this guy's a complete and utter fraud? There's nothing else to see here. you know what you got with Zohran Mamdani. But despite his big pivot, that 180 that he made, his chief of staff is now doubling down on sanctuary city policies, saying that there will be no troops in New York City underneath Mamdani's leadership.
We certainly were clear about our disagreements in the room, and the mayor-elect made clear that we uphold sanctuary laws in our city and all immigrants will be safe in our city. We also made very clear that we feel there has been inhumane raids just this week. So it will be a future conversation with the president, but we again grounded in an overall desire and the acknowledgement that our sanctuary city laws allow cooperation in extreme violent felony cases. And that is something where I think we have alignment.
Absolutely unbelievable, and honestly couldn't make this stuff up even if we tried. Turns out Zohran Mamdani is so much of a flip-flopper that now he and his staff are not even on the same page. And that's because he's made so many promises on that campaign trail. Now he's walking them all back, doing a complete 180. But I'll tell you whose stance has remained the same. It's our president, Donald Trump, as he responds to Zohran's chief of staff and her threats towards the Trump administration.
Do you still plan to deploy the National Guard to New York City?
If they need it. Right now, other places need it more, but if they need it, we had a very good meeting yesterday. We talked about that. But if they need it, I would do it.
President Trump remaining on message and very transparent when it comes to sending help into NYC if needed. He says if they continue to put up a fight, guess what? We're going to flood the zone. But we all knew that's what was going to come of it. Now, I want to end this one on some good news. While things aren't looking so hot for Zohran Mamdani, it's the complete opposite for President Donald Trump as he just keeps on winning, setting even more records, a historic presidency for President Donald Trump.
So is the president losing Republicans?
No. Look, this is still Donald Trump's Republican Party, and we can see it here. It's like a rock, to quote Bob Seger. I mean, take a look here. Republicans who approve of Trump. 6 months ago, it was 87%. Now, well, hello, it's the same number. It's 87%. He has not lost any support among Republicans compared to 6 months ago. As I said at the beginning, he's like a rock. He's like a rock. The Republican base is sticking by Donald Trump at this point in time.
It really is interesting to watch his overall approval rating go down, 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 but see this be completely constant here.
It is among independents. It is not among Republicans.
Okay, so how does this compare to past presidents in a second term?
Yeah, okay. I think this gives the game away, right? Which is Donald Trump, if you look at 21st century presidents, own party approval at this point in term two. Who leads the pack? It's Donald John Trump. 87% of Republicans approve of Donald John Trump. You go back to 2013, 78% of Democrats supported Barack Obama, and it was 78% of Republicans who supported George W. Bush back in 2005 at this point. So Donald Trump has the biggest highest own party approval of any president who served their entire second term in the 21st century.
You could look at this one of two ways. You could say, obviously, he's doing way better than past presidents. Or you could say, there is still room to settle. If there is a reversion to the mean here, if that does fall further, that could chip into his overall approval rating.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh, my goodness. First and foremost, I just want to say this investigation into the campaign of Zohran Mamdani is definitely necessary and called for. I mean, just look at all the evidence. It's very apparent, front face, and doesn't take much digging to see that this man was receiving illegal campaign contributions from countries overseas, many foreign nations contributing to his campaign, which is illegal, by the way. He needs to be held accountable for that. And on the other hand, looks like we're finally hopefully seeing New Yorkers waking up to the scams, the schemes of Zohran Mamdani. This guy is a full-on paid actor, a grifter, and all these folks are being had. New Yorkers don't understand the magnitude of what they're doing right now, what they just did, but they will quickly learn that Zohran Mamdani is not for the people. This guy is all for cash and he's all for power, and we can see that very clearly. And on the other hand, the deportation agenda of President Donald Trump, I'm just going to give a warning to Zohran Mamdani and his staff. It's not wise to threaten President Donald Trump, saying that you're going to block or get in the way of any agenda that he is trying to put forth, because guess what? All he's going to do is make him want to work double time and actually get things done even quicker. He might divert his attention from maybe these states, these cities that need a little bit more help, to your city, because you guys are creating and adding to that problem. We already seen that happen over there in Chicago with Operation Midway Blitz with that crazy Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor J.B. Pritzker. They got pushed aside very quickly by the Trump administration as ICE flooded the zone and carried out a massive deportation operation in their city, guys. But definitely hop in the comment section. Comments are open. I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this one with Zohran Mamdani. It looks like his whole mayoral candidacy is at stake here. It's going downhill very quickly. Hop in that comment section. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, we'll catch you guys on the next week.